Will the New York Jets make a splash move in the NFL draft by trading up for Cam Ward? There's a lot of rumors circulating the New York Jets being aggressive for a quarterback in the NFL draft, whether that's their interest in Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart, maybe they trade up for Cam Ward, or maybe there's a guy in the mid-rounds. With the departure of Aaron Rodgers, all bets are open for the New York Jets to find their next quarterback for the future. In this video on Jets Media, I want to break down the rumor, and is it possible for the Jets to go after Cam Ward? What would a trade package look like, and would it be smart for Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey to mortgage a lot of their future assets to go after the Miami Hurricane quarterback? Let's get right into the video, but before we do, don't forget to hit the like button and comment your thoughts of Cam Ward. Do you think he is worth trading up for? Let me know in the comment section. And of course, subscribe here to Jets Media for all your Jets content all offseason long. So the first thing I want to talk about is, where is this rumor coming from? How is Cam Ward linked to the New York Jets? So listen, it's all rumors, it's all speculation season, but bear with me here, because Nevin Shapiro, who was a former Miami booster, he was in a scandal, he's very plugged into the Miami Hurricanes. I'm not going to take his word as it's 100% he knows what he's talking about, but it's definitely intriguing, someone like him to bring up the New York Jets out of nowhere. So here's the clip of Nevin Shapiro talking about it, and let's break it down.
Team that's starting to surface as the player for Cam Ward and is putting together a big package is the New York Jets. And I was told that firsthand, specifically, same way I was told about Cam Ward being the first pick, which, by the way, makes me look accurate. The Giants decided to go win. Otherwise, they'd have Cam Ward sitting there for them.
Wow, the New York Jets.
The New York Jets are making a strong play for Cam Ward.
So you heard him say he is linking the New York Jets to potentially trade up for Cam Ward. That's going to spark up the debate, spark up the conversation amongst Jets fans, of course, heading into the draft combine, if the Jets should be interested in Cam Ward. Now, let's talk about it from the perspective of Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey. Does it fit the timeline for the Jets to trade up from 7 to pick number 1? Okay, does it fit the idea of trading future assets? Do you think it is worth a splash? Because if you trade this year's first, next year's first, and this year's second round pick, maybe even more, that is sacrificing a lot of assets in the future to put all your eggs in the basket in Cam Ward. You basically are writing your job title, Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey, to disrespectful quarterback, just like Robert Saleh did with Zach Wilson and Joe Douglas did with Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson was a bust, therefore Robert Saleh and Joe Douglas, they tried to trade for Aaron Rodgers to try to fix their mistake with Zach Wilson, and it still was a failure. So if the Jets want to mortgage their future for Cam Ward, they better love the prospect and really believe he could be their franchise quarterback, and of course have a game plan to surround the young man with everything he possibly needs to elevate his game to be the franchise quarterback for the New York Jets. I think a trade package could look something like pick number 7, this year's second round pick, next year's first round pick, and you may even have to add in a third or a future fourth as well. I'm not too sure. That is a lot to trade up for the first overall pick. I'm not saying I want the Jets to put that much picks into it, but you look at the value chart, it is very expensive to trade up to the number 1 overall pick. Now, when you look at Cam Ward as a prospect, is he worth trading up for? Is he worth going all in for? I do love his tape. I mean, you look at the tape and you look at the throws he makes, it really shows you he does have elite arm talent. This guy can make every single throw off platform, scramble to his right, scramble to his left, has a very good, arm, of course. His athleticism is off the charts, making people miss in the open field. He just has that baller energy. You turn on the tape, you're just like, yeah, Cam Ward can make every single throw. If you want to talk about some weaknesses, he does rely a little bit too much of breaking out of the pocket. Can he play within a structure like pocket passer? Is he able to have that 2-3 drop back, plant his back foot, make the throws over the middle of the field, something you need to see in the pro style offense? And of course, the same question that you have with every other quarterback coming out of this year's draft and any class in general is he able to process the field at the next level? Is he able to deal with the mental side of things? You can be so physically talented, you can have the arm, you can be mobile, but can you figure it out upstairs? That of course is up for debate if he's able to do it. The cool thing about him is that the arm angles, he's got every physical trait that you want to see in the modern day NFL quarterback, but of course, he needs to show more eye discipline. His footwork needs to get cleaned up a little bit. He's not the perfect prospect, which is why you're wondering, is he worth the first overall pick? Is it too much of a risk for the New York Jets to go all in for a guy like Cam Ward? It's such a big risk. Does the New York Jets regime right now, with Rick Spielman as a senior advisor, Aaron Glenn as a head coach, Darren Mougey as the GM, do they want to try to take a huge swing their first offseason in the draft to bring in their franchise quarterback to build around right away? Or Do they want to do a different approach? Bring in a veteran, maybe a Kirk Cousins, maybe you go young like Justin Fields, maybe Derek Carr if he gets bought out, and then you try to find a quarterback in next year's draft class. Give Jordan Travis this year to be the young guy in the locker room, young guy in training camp to see if he has any upside, and then try to find your franchise quarterback in the 2026 draft class, which is a little more rich, right? So there's so many options for the Jets because we can all agree the Jets are going to try to find the franchise quarterback of this organization with Aaron Glenn. The question is, of course, will they find it via the NFL draft? Will they find a franchise quarterback via free agency, via the trade market? Interesting to note, the way the Detroit Lions found their franchise quarterback was a trade. They traded Matthew Stafford for Jared Goff. That was a very unique trade. I don't really see that happening with the Jets where we don't have a quarterback to swap out, right? Aaron Rodgers is not getting traded. He's getting released. So that's an interesting thing there. But I feel like when you look at this draft class, the idea of the Jets trading up for their quarterback, me personally, the way I look at this, I'm not going to say I'm all in on this, but it does excite me. I'm not going to lie. The idea of the Jets and Aaron Glenn, the way that he comes to this organization is to show that he's not messing around and putting all the keys into Cam Ward's hands. I think he has a lot of abilities to be very excited to be the potential franchise quarterback of the New York Jets. And that is telling you right away, Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey are not messing around. They are coming here and taking a gigantic swing. But of course, there's a lot of risks because you have to give up a lot of future assets that you can use to build out this roster. So a lot of interesting decisions to be made for Aaron Glenn and Darren Mougey. And I feel like you look at all of Cam Ward and what he's able to do, I feel like he will translate to the NFL level and be a franchise quarterback. You never know, of course, because with the Jets, you got to be able to build around him. And we've seen the Jets fail Sam Darnold. We've seen Zach Wilson fail here. Geno Smith, the list goes on. I don't need to talk about all the quarterbacks that has failed here with the New York Jets. So I'm excited about this offseason. There's, of course, so many different options at the quarterback spot. We talked about Jackson Dart on the channel earlier this week. I'm going to be making videos about all the prospects the Jets could be looking into at the quarterback spot via the NFL draft, via free agency, and the trades right here on Jets Media. So don't forget to subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts of the New York Jets quarterback search because it's going to be a deep one, a very, very deep one. I'm ready to turn the page on the Aaron Rodgers story. I'm sure a lot of Jets fans are as well. There's a lot of people talking about how it went last week with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets and how the conversations went. I'm ready to just end that conversation and talk about what's coming, and that is a potential guy like Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, Shedeur Sanders, maybe guys in the mid-rounds like Kyle McCord, Quinn Ewers. I mean, you name it, Will Howard. There's so many prospects that we're going to be breaking down right here on Jets Media in the NFL draft and, of course, like I mentioned already, in free agency and the trade market. So hit the like button if you guys enjoyed, comment your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe here. I'm excited for this offseason, man. I got a lot of fun things cooking up on Jets Media, and let's go Jets. Peace out, folks.